Not so much. Let me tell you about this spider, man. I mean, bigger than my hand. He was huge. And it was a tarantula. That thing had more hair. I mean, the whiskers I had yesterday, he had bigger hair. And we set it up, and I remember, I think AJ was on one side of him, and I think maybe Billy was there, and we're all talking, and I'm opposite. So I'm watching. Now, before we went on camera, we had sat down with the spider guy, because Walter was not happy about this. He's like, "You're gonna put what on me? Are you smoking crack?" So the prop guy was like, "No, really, you know, tarantulas are very docile. They're, you know, gentle creatures, blah, blah, blah. You know, you have to threaten them in order for there to be a problem." And so, you know, off camera, we were holding this thing, and he's, you know, just sitting in our hands like a lump on a log, you know, crawling up our arm real slow. It was cool, you know, we're like, okay. And, you know, you're standing there like, yeah, no problem. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. You know, you're just crawling around, you're waiting for like the worst tarantula movie of your life. Something like that. But it was really cool, right? So everything went fine. And I had asked the guy, I said, "So, like, have you fed him recently?" He's like, "Yeah, he just had a bunch of cockroaches." We're like, "Okay, cool." Walter was feeling better about it. I was feeling better about it. We get on, oh, and he tells us, he says, "Yeah," he says, "you know, you can always tell when these things are going to attack." And I was like, "Oh, really? How?" And he goes, "Because you see the two front legs come up." And he says, "So, you know, that's kind of your warning sign. They've been threatened, and that's how you deal with it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem, cool." And, you know, his two legs never came up. He was crawling all over, so things were fine. So we get in front of camera, and, you know, the scene comes out where we're all supposed to freeze, you know, and then we can't move, can't sleep. You got an itch, and you can't scratch it. And the guy comes in, the props guy real quick, drops the spider off right on Walter's shoulder, you know, turns around, everybody powders our faces real quick. We're trying not to move. You know, and then they run off screen, and the director calls second action, action. And so we run through the scene, and, you know, I'm the first to see this thing because I'm opposite Walter, and I'm like, Zach, dude, you know, something to that effect. And he's like, "What, man, what?" And, you know, within the character, he looks over, and his thing is on his shoulder, he's like, "Oh," you know, he starts freaking out. And up come the two front legs. And at that point, there was genuine terror on Walter Ford's face. And I'm looking at that, and Walter's looking at that, and we're looking at each other because we both know what it means. And Amy is just running through the scene, you know, like, well, she was oblivious, she had no clue. And she hadn't been there when we were educated on this. And we're not responding anymore to the scene. We're just like, and about that time I was like, cut, cut. And so the guy comes running in, he's like, "What?" And the legs are up, and it's creeping towards his neck. And Walter's just like, "I'm not moving, I'm not moving, I'm not moving." And I was like, I'm not touching it, I'm not touching it, I'm not touching it. So I'm pretty sure that's all on camera somewhere. And so the props guy comes in and just scoops it right up. And he's like, "Yeah, man, sorry, I haven't seen it do that. I just fed it." And I was like, "What would you do, man?" So that was probably one of my favorites.
On Power Rangers in one word, what would it be?
Awesome.
More phenomenal. I'll stick with that right there, man. That sums it up. More phenomenal and amazing.
Yeah, a blast.
That's two words.
Blast. Blast.
You guys gotta be so picky. You have to spell it next? Bad Lizer. Thanks for coming, y'all. Oh, sorry. Sometimes I just forget he's here.
Quantosaurus Rex. Fantastic. That would be the word. It was fantastic. Everything about the show was fantastic.
That's the same one 3 times.
Hey guys, also too, I just want to say, man, you know, none of this would even be happening right if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you guys for coming out here.